So I just came back from a great ride with some friends, and we spent about 3 hours in the saddle or something. And I just wanted to show you guys 5 easy stretches to do right after your bike ride, before you get into your car. The last thing I want to do after a bike ride is to get right back into my car and sit some more. Then you get out of the car and you feel all crickety and tight everywhere. So here's my 5 go-to stretches right after getting off the bike. You can straddle your bike, and because you've been braking and gripping the handlebars, those wrist flexors and finger flexors on this side of your arm tend to get tight. So you can easily straddle your bike and just stretch your wrist back like this. And you should get about close to 90 degrees of wrist extension, which is this movement here. And your fingers should be able to stay pretty straight. You might notice a difference side to side, particularly, if you mouse with one, with your right arm, you might notice that one's tighter. You want to try to keep your shoulders down and just breathe and relax. So that's one. The next one I'd like to show you guys is a hip flexor stretch. You can put your foot up on the bumper of your car. You want to tighten up your abdominals and your glute on that side that you're stretching. So for me, it's my right side right now. And you want to lean forward, really squeezing the glute and pulling the abdominals in at the same time, instead of overextending in your lower back. Then you won't get that localized stretch through the front of your hip. Again, because you've been sitting in your bike, particularly if you've been in the arrow position, you'll be pretty tight in there. The third stretch would be your typical standing quad stretch, but you want to really make sure that when you grab your foot, your 2 knees are pretty close to each other, and that you are pulling slightly back. And don't worry so much about cranking your foot up towards your butt, because most of the time that will just irritate your knees, particularly if you've ever had surgery on it or have had a history of knee issues. I prefer to actually push back a little, pull my foot back a little bit, and you can do a little contract relax here where you gently push your foot into your hand for 5 seconds and then relax, and you might be able to pull a little bit closer. So that's a nice standing quad stretch. The fourth one is a little modified pigeon stretch. For those of you who do yoga, you may recognize this. Some of the tighter men may not be able to get their knee down. Your knee may be kind of up like this. What you can also do as a modification is to sit on your bumper, cross your ankle over your opposite thigh. Hopefully you guys can see me. And then lean your hips forward, keeping your trunk neutral. Right. The last one, which is a really good one, is actually to stretch into thoracic extension. Again, if you've been on, in your drops or in your aero bars, or just sitting on the bike, you're going to be in some sort of flexion. So you want to open up and balance out your upper back and shoulders. So you're going to clasp your hands together if you can, and then lift your chest up towards the ceiling and roll the shoulders back, and then try to lift your arms up. Some of you may not be able to lift your arms up. That's okay. The point is you're rolling the shoulders back and getting your chest up towards the ceiling. Another bonus one, actually, I just throw in is your neck. A lot of cyclists have their head down and then their chin poking out. What I like to do to decompress the neck a bit is to actually clasp my hands behind my back or behind my head and gently do a little bit of traction here while I push the back of my head into my hands and open up your elbows at the same time. It feels really good. So there you go. 6 easy stretches. You got a bonus one that you can do right off the bike before you get in your car. And it should only take you a few minutes, but you'll feel a little bit better getting out of the car, and you'll be a little bit more balanced. Hope you thought that was helpful. Thank you very much for watching.